Hello, friends, and welcome to our next lecture on our next topic of Unit 4, that is evolution. Okay, the word evolution or the term evolution is derived from two Latin words. That means it is a combination of two Latin words. First word is e, which means from. That means from which it is evolved. So E, that is the term E, which means from, and the another second Latin word is volver, that is to roll. That means evolution is an act of unrolling, or you can say unfolding, unrolling or unfolding. Okay, so evolution simply it means the change, that is a gradual or orderly change from one condition to another condition. That is, you can see in the pictures which are shown on your screen. This is the total process of evolution. That means formation of earth, then formation of life, diversifying condition of the life, and how the human is evolved. So simply evolution, it is a scientific theory. It says that life originated in the sea spontaneously by molecular changes. Then new species originate from the pre-existing species by the development and accumulation, or you can say development and you can say retaining of gradual changes. But it's a very slow process. Evolution is the development of organism through time, or you can say along the time. So as the time passes, slowly and steadily, the process of evolution also goes on. Evolution is a concept. It explains the origin of frog from the fishes. It explains origin of chordates from non-chordates. This term evolution, it was first used by Herbert Spencer. This term evolution refers to development of more complex form of life, that means plants and animals, from the simpler and earlier forms. You can say unicellular forms. Okay, the principle of evolution implies the development of an entity in the course of time through a gradual sequence of changes from a simple to a more complex state. In other words, it maintains that the different kind of organism that we can see today have evolved from common ancestor over millions of years. So hence Charles Darwin in 1859, he has defined evolution as descent with modification. So according to Darwin, evolution is descent with modification. Likewise, J.M. Savage in 1996, he defined evolution as a gradual sequence of changes from a simple to a more complex state. Herbert Spencer explained the development of more complex forms from the simpler and earlier forms. So all these are the contributions of or these are the important contributions of various evolutionists to the meaning of evolution. The evolution generally means the living being modify and adopt according to ever changing environmental needs. Okay, these modifications keep accumulating in the organisms generation after generation, resulting in more complex and better adapted new species. So always there is formation of new species. Therefore, organic evolution, it implies that life progressed and one-celled organism, that means unicellular organism, has been converted to a higher state organism, that means human beings, by the means of series of biological changes taking place over millions of years. And all the present day plants and animals, they are descended, that means they have came or they have evolved from a single ancestor, and all these occur by gradual modification, then accumulation of these new characters through the successive generations over million years, uh, through a continuous process. Okay, so Darwin has described the evolution as descents with modification or continuity of life with constant modifications. Okay, the term evolution can refer to different concepts. In particular, they make a distinction between whether evolution occur and how it occur. That means the fact of evolution and the mechanism by which evolution takes place. Okay, that we will discuss further. So firstly, we will see the basic concepts of organic evolution. The basic concepts of organic evolution envisage that the continuity of life with constant modification. It suggests that environmental conditions are over changing in nature. Then organisms have a inherent tendency of changing in response to the changing environmental condition. This ability is called the adaptability, or you can say adaptations. Such adaptive changes in the organisms, they are inherited by offspring and they lead to formation of new species, or you can say origin of new species. Such changes in the organisms are due to adaptations. The new species are always better adapted and more organized than their ancestors. Different members of a species, on being adapted to different environment, diversify and get evolved along several divergent lines. Okay, different members of a species, when they get being adapted to different environment, they diversify and evolve along several divergent lines. All the present day species have a common ancestor at some or other time of evolution. The individuals, they migrate from their place of origin to various geographical areas and gradually adopt to different environments at that area. This will result in the formation of several new species from the one, or you can say common ancestral species. Such type of evolution is termed to be divergent evolution. However, organisms from various regions, they can also migrate to a common habitat and get modified to adopt to that particular habitat. As a result, organisms from distantly related group, they develop common features. Though they have came from different areas, but they live together and get adopted in that environment, so they develop some common features. Such type of evolution is called a convergent evolution. Okay, evolution, it is a very complex and extremely slow process. It is not possible to see one type of animal changing to other, but still the presence of integrating intergrading organisms supports the concept of evolution. Now let us look in short or in brief about the mechanism of evolution. So evolution is a process of gradual development of an organism through time. Okay, this includes following characteristics. Basically, evolution is the result of differential survival in each generations of the progeny of individuals with certain special characteristics. Okay, mechanism of inheritance is the foremost important element which play an important role in evolution. The way in which the genes determine the expression of the character in an organism and the manner in which genes are transmitted to the offspring, they shape the whole evolutionary picture. So evolution is often defined as, quite rightly, as the change in frequency of the gene in a population. That means changes in the frequency of alleles in the gene pool of a population. Okay, a sexual reproduction has very much evolutionary significance than asexual reproduction, because sexual reproduction is a mechanism that tends to combine the genetic material of two different individuals and produce a new or novel combination, that we can say recombination of genes. So thus the evolution is the result of interplay, or you can say interaction, of many and diverse factors. These factors are themselves subjected to changes. The mechanism responsible for change required to produce limited descent with modification, mainly natural selection acting on random variations or mutations. Okay, so the ultimate or the final you can say conclusion is that there is a universal common descent, and the idea that all organism has descended from a single ancestor. So this is regarding the mechanism of evolution. Okay, now let us look on the scope of evolution. So the concept of evolution is based on the detailed comparison of the structures of living and fossil forms, on the sequence of appearance and extinction of species in the past, then on the physiological and biochemical similarities, and also difference between species, and an analysis of genetic constitution of present day plants and animals. So on all these process, the evolutionary concept is based. In fact, various branches of biology such as paleontology, comparative anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, embryology, taxonomy, geography, distribution, then geographic distribution, then ecology, animal behavior, domestication techniques, and population genetics have furnished strong support to the idea of evolution. The bioresearch increasingly relies on and requires the interaction of different concepts and methods of evolution. The reciprocal relationship between evolution and different branches of biology aptly lead the distinguished evolutionist Debinsky in 1973 to state that nothing in the biology makes sense except in the light of evolution. That means if you are going to study or if you are making a research in biology, there is nothing except in the light of evolution. So always you have to rely on evolutionary relationship whenever you are going to having a bio research. So this is all about the scope of evolution. So this is all for today. In further lectures we will study about various evidences of organic evolution.